All right, everybody, welcome to our Team Dare to Dream Determination Nation Super Sister and Brothers call. We call it the Super Sister call because Jen and I are super sisters. Yeah. And it's not super sisters, it's super sisters. There's no R. Okay, so just so everybody knows. Super sister. It's like superstars.
And I have a t-shirt to prove it, so.
Yes, I do too. We'll have a t-shirt to prove it. We have pictures to prove it. So today is exciting because, well, it's not May 1st anymore, it's May 2nd, but it's close enough to still be excited about May, about spring, about sunshine, and the fact that it's 8 o'clock and it's still light outside.
This is true.
That's pretty cool. May, I mean, it is, what are we like? We're 70 days away from Summit.
Yeah.
So who's going to Summit? Raise your hand.
Maybe.
Brandon, are you going? Thumbs up, thumbs down? No, not this year. Brandon went last year. Zia, are you going?
I'm trying.
Okay.
Pass.
So tickets are still available, and there's a lot of discounted tickets still available. If you do decide to purchase a transferable ticket, number one, make sure it's a transferable ticket because there are tickets that are not transferable. And make sure you look at the transfer policy in your FAQs because you do need to, that ticket needs to get officially assigned over to you so that Beachbody has your name on that ticket and not the other coaches. So just make sure you do that all right. And if you get to that point and you need help, then we'll refer you to the FAQ.
Okay, thanks.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're a new coach and you're in your first 90 days, then you have a discount code to get a discounted Summit ticket, so you can take advantage of that. If you are wondering, well, I can get a ticket, but I don't have anyone to go with, I know Jen has a page and I have a page for our Summit goers, and we can certainly match you up with people that need roommates. So, I mean, we've had so many coaches attend that went and slept in the same room and possibly even the same bed. This is all same sex. Let me just tell you, we don't do co-ed matchmaking here. And they did it with people they didn't even know. Jen raises her hand. She didn't even do it with somebody from our team. She went into the huge Coach Summit group and literally found a random roomie.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, the whole thing is get thee to Summit, whatever you need to do. And we're going to be there. We'll have a get together. You will not be alone. A lot of coaches go by themselves. Some coaches take their spouses. I know John's always gone with me. Oliver doesn't typically go with Jennifer just because I called you Jennifer. Doesn't go with Jen because he stays home with the kids and her, it's not really a kid thing. It's a very, very busy event. You will be running and you'll be very tired, but you'll be so excited and so pumped up, and you can sleep on the airplane home. So that's what we always say. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We started our Summit in 6-week refresh, recharge, whatever you want to call it. And it's really interesting that Carl Deichler is doing the same thing. So he's hosting a group for coaches. The same way Jen and I are hosting this group for you guys, he's hosting one as well. And I'm in the group. I'm in the group. So it's pretty freaky so far. He just formed the group today, and we're all in there just spilling our guts. And Carl, at least somebody that is posting us, Carl, is responding to all of our posts. It's like, you go in and spill your heart out about your limiting beliefs and this and that and the other thing, and he responds. It's like not just a, hey, great job, but a long thought-provoked response. And I'll share it with you because it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. So anyway, I'll be bringing everything I learn to you guys. Obviously, I'm in that group because I want to be a better leader. It's really kind of all about how can the coaches in there, how can we help our teams and our customers and our coaches and have more success, not just in business, but with fitness. And that's really, Carl said, let's focus on the joy of this business. Let's focus on the joy of helping other people. And, he says that, he feels that, over the past year or two that maybe we've gotten away from that a little bit, because the business has been so exciting and it's just booming, and coaches, are coming up and they're starting and having amazing success, and their financial dreams are coming true. And Sydney, can you I'll turn on the light. I'm sitting behind the dark. And, all of that, there's been so much business success that, he wants to make sure we don't forget that we're a fitness business, that our foundation is fitness. And our foundation is helping people with their fitness. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in that group and how I can bring that back to you guys, because that's what I said I think in the live video that I did, to invite you all into the Summit in 6, is that I just want to help you guys find your joy. Maybe I said that in a different group, I know, but if I didn't, I'm saying it now, that, I really, I want my joy to be in this business, not in, all of the accolades and all of the, all of that, but in the business, in the foundation of it, in the freedom, in the joy of helping people, in the self-satisfaction of doing something that is important to you and important to others. I mean, that's what attracted me to this. That's how I caught fire with this. And I know Jen feels the same way. I mean, that's how we grew our big businesses, because we're like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing that we get to do this and we get to help other people. And oh, by the way, look what is happening in our own personal lives with our, financial situation. I have to give you a heads up. Jen is going to be doing a team call in a week or two on how to build a full-time income on part-time hours, because I think that, one of the limiting beliefs I think that a lot of people have is that you need, you can't achieve a certain level of success if you're not working as full-time. And, Jen's going to talk about how she has a very busy full-time job, and she's a mom of 2 very busy boys, and, fitting in making a full-time income like she does with the hour, I won't say few hours because I don't want to belittle it, but the few hours a day that you're able to put into your business is absolutely incredible. And you have helped so many people. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And I think that's one of the reasons why Jen, I'm speaking for you, but that's one of the things that she keeps doing this for, is she loves being a part of the community. She loves helping other people. It's like, what would life be like without your Beachbody tribe?
Well, and it really, I literally get so sad when, people are limiting their belief on the fact that they can't do it, or that they're challenged, or that, they just feel like they can't be successful in it for whatever reason. It just really breaks my heart. And I don't know why I really internalize it for a while, when I know it's possible. And like Deborah said, I know she's speaking on behalf, but we talk so often. She knows me so well. Did I make $50,000 in my first year? No. When you're working at this part-time, you're not going to, well, some people do, but I didn't shoot up like in your first year. But what happens in that first year is still incredible. It's still amazing what you can do with your business, And I tell you what, I always say to myself, if I didn't have this in my life, then where would I be? I wouldn't be as fit. I wouldn't be as healthy. I wouldn't have made as many friendships. I wouldn't have found Shakeology. I wouldn't have met all of the trainers and have them impact my life. I wouldn't have helped somebody else. I haven't helped thousands, but I've helped quite a few. Who can say that? So there's just so many benefits to it besides the financial part, which has allowed us to pay off all of our debt. And we were swimming in credit card debt, swimming in it. So you know, I make a good full-time corporate income, but that's never good enough these days when you have, you know, so much on your plate and boys that are in crazy expensive sports, and you always live beyond your means because, you know, everybody lives beyond their means, right? We just do. Life is expensive. So this has afforded us to just have that cushion and build a savings and pay off debt, things I would never have been able to do. But besides that, so much more, so much more.
Yeah.
So, you know, Deb and I, we feel the same way about wanting that for everybody else, you know, and doesn't come easy. We're not sitting here saying it's super simple. I mean, it's simple, but it's work.
Not always easy.
You know? So
yeah, I mean, so if you haven't got into the Summit in 6, get in. I mean, see if it's the kind of, you know, group, the kind of small, it's like a small group, we're working together. See if it's something that helps you. Some people really, really love groups like that. And I love, like, Kelly, she's on the call. She's like, I'm so happy you're doing this group. I miss groups like this. And other people, not so much. They're like, yeah, they kind of made me feel a little stressed out just because I'm being held to a higher level of accountability, perhaps. So, you know, there's no pressure, it's no obligation, but if you're in the group, we do want you to participate fully. So,
well, and what I told my group, just sharing amongst you guys too, I think Deb will feel the same. I'm not going to kick anybody out, you know, especially if you're going to Summit and you know, we're going to be sharing tidbits and we're going to be giving you some, if not anything, amazing personal development that you probably would not have listened to otherwise. Maybe not. I mean, the PD podcast that I've been listening to, that hope you've been listening to if you're in that group, are just amazing. So
I listened to 4 or 5 podcasts on my run today, and every single one of them, I'm like, okay, I need to listen to this one, to this one, to this one, to this one. I mean, and they're short. I mean, I ran for like 40 minutes, and I listened to 4 or 5 podcasts.
And, you know, like you were saying, everybody likes a certain level of accountability. Some people thrive on it. Some people back off and shy away. But the thing is that we have to provide the things that are going to move your business, right? That's our job, right? So if you are looking to move your business forward and rank advance and meet certain qualifications and goals for Summit, then we can't say, well, we're not going to put that in here because not everybody likes that, right? So you go at your pace for your own business and what your goals are and what you want to happen in your business. We're providing it all out there so that you have every single advantage and opportunity. Right? So that's the way I think of groups too.
Okay. So
let's move on to the meat of the call.
Yeah.
Because we're going to make it.
All right. Let's talk about inviting. I'm calling this the 1, 2, 3s of inviting, or the ABCs of inviting. We have the 4 vital behaviors, and we have personal development, we have be a product of the product, we have recognition, and we have inviting. But what does inviting mean? We used to think inviting meant inviting to a challenge group. And there's so many other kinds of conversations that are left out if you only count the invite to the challenge group. However, if you're only doing the other 2 types of inviting and not inviting to the challenge group, you will also find that your business isn't working. So you have to incorporate all 3 of these types of invites to your challenge groups. The first one is inviting to be your friend. Number 1, inviting to be your friend. And that is about growing your network. My saying is, you will not build your business based on the people that you know today. You're going to build your business on the people you get to know tomorrow. Now, certainly when you're a new coach, it makes sense to reach out to the people that you know. It makes sense to reach out to the people that you know the best, your family, your close friends. It makes sense to do that. But I don't want you to be brokenhearted if they aren't receptive. That can sometimes be a non-starter for new coaches, meaning they stop before they really get started because they feel like, well, if these people don't trust me, then who will? I can speak from personal experience that is not a factor of your future success. You know, my husband and my mom jumped right on board, and my husband's right over here, right on board, and that's the only family members that did so. And my kids did because they were living in our house. And Sydney joined on as a coach. She's down here too. She's home from college. She's listening. But none of my friends did. None of my social circle joined as a coach or as a customer. So we move on. So how do you grow your network? I'll show you. I'm going to just show you, screen share. Sorry, Brandon, you'll just have to listen. Don't look at the screen. So I wanted to show you just what, adding friends to your contact list. I mean, it's really as simple as, Facebook suggests friends to you all the time. So it can be as simple as just friend requesting the people that Facebook recommends to you. It can be as simple as it's like they're always recommending people to me, but I can never find where it is. They just always are showing up.
Right on the side, usually, right?
Yeah. Where are they? Where's all my recommendations? Look at, is that Kelly? See, now I'm being distracted by my newsfeed. But we'll find them. They'll show up somewhere. But the other thing you can do is go to your existing friends list, right? And this is a good way to start too. And just pop into some of your friends and see who you have in common. So obviously don't do it with your coach friends, but like, here's my recently added friends. So these are the people that I've recently added, and I was just going through, and these are all people that started, they go back to like April 19th. So, and Facebook won't show you all the people you've ever added. It shows, I don't know how many days it goes back or how many people it goes back, but it shows you about that many people. So let's just say that I wanted to go in to one of these people and kind of see, okay, who else do we know that we might have in common? This is somebody that lives in my area. I can see who our mutual friends are. And this is, I do a lot of my friend requesting just from who Facebook recommends, because once you start friend requesting people, Facebook starts to know the kinds of people you want to connect with. So like, funny that now all of a sudden Facebook is recommending all these pageant ladies as my friends, right? And then it seems like at one time I was like becoming friends with people that just happened to be realtors. And then all of a sudden Facebook is recommending all these realtors. So, and at one time I was, doing a lot of friend requesting of local fitness instructors. So Facebook kindly starts making it easy for me and just starts recommending fitness instructors. So it's funny how Facebook does that. But I can certainly, go in and look at our mutual friends, or like even some of her, like this is one of our mutual friends. I can go back in here and I can see, okay, who are some other cool people, that look like, I would like to be friends with, that I'm not already friends with, right? And I can just friend request. Let's see, let's go down, because I'm friends already with a lot of her mutual friends. But I'm going to do a couple. I mean, it's not hard to do. You can literally pop out, 5, 10, well, I'd say no more than 10, kind of keep it to 10 a day. Friend requests, just by doing this, right? Another way you can do it is you can also just look at, like sometimes whenever people are commenting on my stuff, I'll see other people commenting, right? Like this one's not a great example. I'm not finding a great example. You get the gist of it though. You get the gist. I still want to show you though. Let's see. And while I'm here, I'm going to like some of her stuff, because that'll make sure that Facebook sees my stuff. Like, I'll just do a quick hover to see who these people are, like if they look like my tribe, right? I mean, I don't friend request people that are Beachbody coaches. I don't friend request people, like I know these people, so I'm going to add her. I don't friend request people, like if I go to their Facebook page and I see bad words all over their page and stuff like that. So, but typically if they have mutual friends in common, and especially if they're friends, like it's somebody that you connect with, chances are the mutual friends are going to be pretty okay. So that's just kind of an add there. I'm still looking. Like here's one, let's see. See that she has a baby, and see already, I don't see immediately any conflicts. So I can just add her as a friend. So that's how I do that. So what do you do once you add these people as friends? So here's what my process is. What I used to do is I used to do nothing. I would send all these friend requests, and then it was like, okay, I sent them, we'll see if they start showing up in my news feed, I'll know that they they accepted my friend. Now, and what I found is like, I have all these people that are my friends on Facebook, but yet I only ever see just a handful of those people, right? We don't see everything that everybody posts, and they don't see everything we post. So I started going through my process of going to my recently added, and I'll make sure that I send a message to all of these people. And so here's the message that I send, because I was doing some of that right before we got on this call. So here's one. See, Paige, she's already accepted my friend request, that person I just sent that to. So here's somebody. Thanks for the ad, Ashley. I came across you from our pageant connections. I'm doing my first pageant this June. Happy face. I always put lots of emoticons in my friend request and my messages. And then she comes back and says, that's awesome. What system? I tell her, good luck. That's it. That's the conversation. That's it. People say, well, but when do I ask her about Beachbody? Well, I'm not asking her about it right now, right? We certainly don't do that on our first interaction. So you will see a pattern. Thanks for the ad, Ashley. I came across you from our pageant connections. I'm doing my first pageant this June. Happy face. Here's another one. Thanks for the ad, Vicki. So nice to meet you. I always wanted to work in the travel industry. How long have you been doing that? 20 years, she said. So I could come back and I could carry on a conversation with her if I wanted to. What I really want to make sure is that Vicki Lou accepted my friend request. I want to make sure that I acknowledge her, that she knows I'm a real person. I'm here to, chat or to build, some kind of an online friendship, right? I'm not just adding people randomly. Here's another one. It's funny. Hi, thanks for the ad. See the pattern? Thanks for the ad. So nice to meet a fellow Casey mama. So what kind of business is Dash Marketing? Sounds like fun. And she comes back and says, it's marketing. Ha ha. So, and she says, nice to connect. I need more girlfriends. See, people are friendly. They are so open to this. And if they're not open to it, they won't accept your friend request. And that's no big deal either. Here's another one, another pageant connection. Here's another one. Sometimes I'll look at their Facebook profile and I'm like, I'm not really sure, like sometimes I can't remember how we met. Like I don't see anything that immediately registers, and I'll just ask them. So here's one that I met. Let's see, I'll just show you. Because I friend requested, I think before I went on vacation, so I was a little behind on my thanks for the ads. And she said, where is she? Oh, here it is. I said, thanks for the ad. I see we're both in Kansas City. I'm trying to figure out how our paths crossed. Are you into fitness? And she tells me she's with Casey Pet Project. I say, oh, yes. And then I think, well, maybe I met her in the Casey Pet Project runners group. Well, no, she says. So not a very talkative person, but still she responded to my message, right? So that is called invite number one. Invite them to be your friend. And when you do, make sure that you acknowledge and thank them for the ad. Okay? And again, I don't do that I don't sit at my computer and wait to see who accepts my friend request. I have a process. So I have the process that I go in, once a week or twice a week, and I go into my friends, recently added, and I can just pop out all of those messages that I need to, right? So it's a process. The other thing you want to make sure you do when you're friend requesting is make sure that you delete pending friend requests. Oh, look, here's people you might know, right? So it's right there. Friend requests, no new friend requests. People you may know, settings. I thought this, Jen, was where you could go in and see your pending friend requests. Oh, here they are. So here I can see where my pending friend requests are, because you don't want to have a bajillion pending friend requests, right? So clean this up once a week as well. Make that be a part of your process. Okay, so that's 3 things. Adding new people, go into your recently added a couple of times a week and send the thanks for the ad message. And when you do that, go ahead and go and look at your pending friend requests and delete the pending friend requests. Okay? And you can do that just by doing this. You click on friend request sent and you cancel friend request. And don't get upset. Don't sit there and say, oh, well, why didn't she accept my friend request? Don't take it personally, right? Don't take it personally. Some of these I just sent. So, I'll leave them out. I usually like to leave these out here about a week. So maybe just do that once a week. I think anything longer than that and it starts to get messy. So that's invite number 1. Invite number 2 is to invite them to further build your relationship. And you might see us call those convos. You might see those be called hey girls, hey dudes, whatever you want to call it. They're just a conversation for the sake of conversation, which is really for the sake of building and strengthening a relationship. So as I was going through my power hour today, I was wanting to do some invites, so I was like, I want to do some invites. And there was somebody that came up on my list that right here that I looked at. No, was it her? Let's see if it was her. No, it wasn't her. Who was it? I actually did do an invite to her, but that's not who I wanted to mention. I'm going to have to go back and see. I was looking at her. I think it's right here. Is it this one? So I was looking back at, the conversations that we had, and I'm like having a one-sided conversation here, obviously. But I scrolled up and I found where at one time we were actually having a conversation, right? And so I went back and looked at our messages and I thought, well, I could just send her another invite, right? Because I haven't invited her since the beginning of the year. And she's seen my message, but she's not responding. I could just send another invite and maybe, I've done that before and it's been the right time. But I thought, no, I went back and looked at our conversations and she was kind of going through some stuff. So I just sent her a relationship. I sent her a convo. Hey, I hope your New Year's and spring is going well. I know things are crazy for you. Are you doing better? So, I'm just asking, how are you doing? Another thing you could do is, this is what I use for my convos and my invites. I use Teamsy. You guys have heard us talk about it. If you haven't, it's basically a contact management system. It's really developed by a Beachbody coach for Beachbody coaches. It's about $24 a month, $25 a month. You can get it. I think, can you get a trial to it? I think you can get a trial to it. But the thing I was doing this morning is I was just letting Teamsy tell me who I should talk to. So I would just go in I would call that person up on Facebook and I would take a look at their Facebook page real quick. So this is my combos. See if there's anything interesting going on that I want to comment about. Maybe I see that person is getting ready to go on vacation or just got back from vacation. Maybe I see that they post a lot of fun, motivational stuff. It seems like this person likes cows a lot. I like cows. So, I'll usually look for something to comment on. And I'll just send a message, right? And say, hey, how's it going? Looks like she might have a lot of lovely little girls. That's really cute. So I look and I see, well, the last conversation we had, we were talking about, her joining my challenge group. So I'm actually just going to send her a message right now. I'm going to say, hey, Jamie. So instead of hey, girl, I said, hey, Jamie, how is your spring? Try to get your spelling right. Get out. So I'm just going to add, I'm doing a relationship building conversation right now. But I can easily transition that into an invite if she responds, because the last time we talked, we were talking about her doing something with me. So that's kind of a nice thing. So I'm going to go back over to Teamsy real quick, and I'm going to just say that I had a conversation.
So just to jump in, if you don't have Teamsy though, because I have Teamsy too, but I didn't always, right? So there's definitely other ways to keep track. I used to create interest lists on Facebook for all the new people, new friends that I was adding, just so that I can remember who's new. Because, you know, when you're doing this often and your friend list starts growing, you're like, are they new, or is it just someone I haven't talked to lately? So you really have to keep track of that. So you can create an interest list on Facebook and just like make an interest list for the month of May and call it May 2017. And everybody you add in May, just keep adding them to that interest list, because then what that does is you can click on that interest list and it brings up sort of like a special feed of just those people, so you can start interacting with them. Because it's really important to, if you're going to make new friends, that you start socializing with them, right? Like Deb said, that's the point of the contact, the conversation, just so that they don't just think you're a friend requesting a million people for no reason. Mm-hmm. And the more you interact with them, the more your stuff pops up in their feed and vice versa. So you could do an interest list. You could do plain old pen and paper. I have many notebooks where I would just, lump together, 4 or 5 pages just for the month, and I'd have lists. But you got to keep track of it. You got to track it, and you got to keep adding to your list somehow, some way. So we add it to Teamsy, but if you don't have Teamsy, you just got to figure out what's going to work for you.
I mean, you can always open up your friends list in Facebook and just let that be your, kind of like your Teamsy, like, okay, yeah. I'm going to start with these people. I'm just going to go into their Facebook. I'm going to see what's going on, comment and like on some things. Or if you're in inviting mode, you're going to invite them. So we have invite to be your friend. We have invite to build a relationship. And then we have the third way of inviting, which is to invite to a challenge group. And you remember, you have to do all 3, right? So the thing you need to know about inviting to a challenge group, posting on your Facebook wall is not a challenge group invite, right? It's a post. And we would love to think that just from posting, everybody will come and join our challenge group. And you might get some people that do. But you will find, I guarantee you, that when you start personally sending messages and inviting people, that you will have more success. Because oddly enough, people want to be asked. How many times have you seen something you might want to do, you might be interested in, and you think, oh, I'll check that out later, or, wow, that looks like a lot of fun, and that's all the farther it goes. Well, it's the same way with everybody else. Yet if someone were to come knocking on your door and say, hey, I'm getting ready to do this thing, and I thought it might be something you'd be interested too. Can I tell you more about it? You're like, well, I was actually kind of just thinking about that, or I saw that on my way into work, and I was wondering what that was all about. So that's why you have to do that. And remember, going back to the beginning of our conversation, we're here to help people. You're not asking people to spend $200 on a bunch of bags with their monogram on them that, have fun colors. I mean, I seriously have gone to a bag party and I've dropped $200 on bags. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to another bag party, because you just can't get out of there without spending money, right? On stuff you don't need. And my husband's the same. He's like, don't go to any more bag parties. Don't bring any more bags. So, same thing. You go to a jewelry party and you end up buying jewelry, even though you don't need any more jewelry, because you feel obligated. We're not asking people to buy things they don't need. So stop feeling guilty about it. Just stop, okay? Everybody stopped?
Stop.
And tell yourself that. The next time you sit down, you're like, oh, I really hate to ask this person to do this. Stop. Tell yourself, I am not asking this person to do anything they don't need to do. They can tell me no, and that's fine. But if I don't ask, I may be depriving them of something that they really need in their life. So that's the little pep talk you need to have with yourself. If you go back to my standard invite, is pretty standard. And I've shared that with you before. Let's just go back here to this one because we were on her page. I pretty much do a standard variation, and I've broken down the way I do my invites. Here's how I do it. It's very standard. I start off with a welcome. Here it was Happy New Year. And then I say this. I just wanted to make sure you saw that I'm hosting a New Year, New Results Fitness Accountability Challenge group. Or I just want to make sure you saw I'm hosting a Summer Buddy Boot Camp. Or I just want to make sure you saw that I'm holding a Memorial Day Meltdown. Or I just want to make sure you saw that I'm hosting a Holiday Fitness Trifecta, whatever it is. And the reason I say it like that is because it very much lets them know that I don't want them to miss out on this. I just want to make sure you saw says, I want to make sure you didn't miss out on this. The next thing is I ask them a question. Do you have any fitness or health goals you're wanting to crush this year? Do you have any fit goals you'd like to tackle before summer comes along? Do you have any fit goals you'd like to blah, blah, blah? And the reason I do this, I do the welcome. Happy New Year. Hey, happy spring. Hey, happy back to school, whatever. Hey, whatever. I do my welcome. And then I do the I just want to make sure you saw. And then I do you have any fitness or health goals you want to crush or you want to tackle or you'd like to address or whatever? 3 parts. Why do I end it with that particular question instead of would you like to know more or would you be interested? Because here's the thing. They don't know enough to know if they're interested. They don't know enough about this to know if they want to know more. And what's our natural inclination? Our natural inclination is to say no. I know mine is. Anytime somebody, comes at me, knocking on my door or, Facebook messaging me or calling me on the phone, my natural inclination is to say no. So don't ask them. Don't give them the opportunity to tell you, I don't want to join your challenge because they don't know anything about it. But if you ask them, do you have some health or fitness goals you want to tackle? Well, that's something that they can say yes to without saying yes to your challenge group, right? They can do that without committing themselves, I guess is what I'm saying. And that's what you want this invite to do. You want it to start a conversation, right? It may not, the majority of these conversations are not going to end in a sale. I will just tell you that right now. But that's not what we're here to do, right? See, we're here to help people. We're here to be fulfilled and to help people be fulfilled. So if this leads to any kind of conversation, that's a win because you've started building a relationship. And I can't tell you how many of these kinds of messages I've had that did not result in a yes until years later. And maybe never. Maybe all that conversation ever resulted in was somebody messaging me saying, Deborah, I just wanted to let you know that I've been following you for 3 years now, and I know I've never joined your challenge groups, but I have managed to lose 40 pounds, and seeing your posts every day has really inspired me. So that's why, I had to make the shift in my mind that the relationship, you always want to leave people with the relationship. That's what we have to offer. And even if they tell me no, even if they say, I'm working out with a personal trainer, or I go to, Planet Fitness, or I do Zumba 5 times a week, or I'm a runner, I do Ironmans, whatever they say, I'm going to say, awesome, I'm so glad that you've got a program that's working for you. If they just started doing something, I'll say, I would love to check back in and see how that's working for you. I'll be your biggest cheerleader. I always want to leave them with the relationship, right? And sometimes I've checked back in and found out that they actually are ready to do one of my challenge groups because that didn't work for them. So 3 types of invites. Invite to be your friend, invite to build a relationship with no strings attached, right? And invite to the challenge group. You need to really do all of those every day. Make that a part of your power hour every day. Is there any questions? Any comments? So how many? I know you guys are wondering, how many of these do I do? Well, I would suggest this. I would suggest that you send at least 5 friend requests a day. 5 to 10, because not everybody's going to accept your friend requests, right? And it's really important that you grow your Facebook following. It's really important. I mean, I started out with maybe 200. I'm almost at 5,000, which is the max out point. So, and that's taken me almost 6 years, right? So now I wonder why I'm so slow about growing my network, right? So no, I'm just kidding. So it takes time. And if you find that you are struggling with, well, I feel like I've invited everybody already. Like maybe you have a very small following to start with. You could very easily kind of get through that whole 200 people pretty quickly if you're going through the process that we're suggesting to you. And then you're going to say, well, I don't know who else. I've gone through everybody. First thing Jen and I are going to do is say, well, are you sure? Have you gone through everybody? Because my thought process is everybody deserves an invite. Everyone deserves an invite. And they do not deserve to be judged. And what I mean by that is they do not deserve for you to judge them and make the decision for them that they would not be interested. They don't deserve that. They deserve to be given the offer to participate. And I learned that the hard way myself. So that's why I know that, because I prejudged so many people because I didn't think they'd be interested. And really, I just didn't want them to say no to me because my ego couldn't take it, right? But then I had the mind shift from the help of all the other successful coaches that kept telling me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to just do it. And I started expanding the network of people that were saying yes. And so people don't deserve for you to judge them. And I know you're trying to be nice, but look at it that way. That's not very nice, right? It's like, I never looked at it that way. I didn't realize I was judging them. Don't judge people. So 5 to 10 new ads a day. And then convos, I mean, I would do 5 to 10 of those. I mean, so here's the thing. You may decide to do 5, 5, and 5. Or you may decide to do 10, 10, and 10. Does that make sense, Jen? 5, 5, and 5, or 10, 10, and 10? I mean, if you do 5, 5, and 5, you could theoretically be having 15 conversations a day. Because if all 5 of those people accept your friend request, you're going to send them a message saying thanks for the ad. And then you're going to have 5 just conversations. Hey, how's it going? I saw you just got back from vacay. Gosh, your garden looks beautiful. Can you tell me what kind of flowers those are? Whatever. Then you're going to have 5 invites. Hey, I just want to make sure you saw that I'm hosting this super fun summer body boot camp. Do you have any fit goals you want to tackle before summer? Boom. That's it. That does not take very much time to do. What takes a lot of time to do is this judging thing that you do. It takes a lot of time. I know from experience. Like, when you look at your list and you try to say, well, should I invite them or not? I don't know. That takes a long time. So if you want to make the best use of your time, the best use of your power hour, then just put those, get rid of the filters, get rid of the judging, and just go through the process. You want to systematize, make this a process, and use your checklist. If you're not using Teamsy, then get a piece of paper and check 5, 5, and 5. Tick mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Move on to the next thing. 1, 2, 3. That's how I did it when I started. I had a piece of paper that I folded up and put in my purse, took it with me to work, took it with me to home, and I would do my check marks. And that's it.
I've tried so many different ways before Teamsy. I've dumped my Facebook list into Excel and gone in alphabetical order. I've made lists after lists. I've tried so many different ways. So you just got to really figure that out. That's really important because you'll waste a lot of time, like Deb said, thinking about it. And then you'll send one invite and you'll just be so frustrated that it took so long to just do that. And also another thing with just posting about it and not actually inviting people. I mean, posting about your challenge groups is absolutely important. We all do it. And if you're not posting about it on your Facebook page, then it's really hard to refer them back and say, hey, wanted to make sure you didn't miss that, right? I mean, so that's number one. But number two, it's just like when people say they have business cards in this business and they're just handing out business cards, right? If you just put a post out there, it's like you're handing out a business card and you're hoping and praying somebody looks at it and responds to you first.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare, very, very rare that happens. I do get people responding to my posts. Of course I do. But the majority of my challengers come from me having conversations with people behind the closed door, in private message. So posting and alone, like I said, is kind of not a waste of time, but it's a waste of time if you don't follow it up with lots of invites.
So who will be brave? And I don't want you to do it. Say you will if you're not ready to do it. But who, by show of hands, is ready to do 5, 5, and 5 every day? Anybody? Kara and Kara.
Kara and Kara.
That's it.
Tag team with each other.
That's on. That's on.
Accountable.
Okay. Is anybody ready to do 10, 10, and 10? That's why you haven't raised your hand, right? Because you're ready to do 10, 10, and 10. Okay. 10. We'll be partners. We'll do 20, 20, and 20.
Oh.
Christine, what are you? What are you? Are you backpedaling now? Or you just do 5, 5, and 5?
Who, me?
Christine.
Oh, Christine.
Well, so I was just trying to debate. It's like, I definitely think I can get the 5 invitings and the networking and the building relationships. It's going out and doing the personal invites I'm still struggling with. The challenge group part of, hey, trying to invite you to this. And I think part of it is too, I'm not planning far enough in advance for the next challenge group. And so like the next one I'm thinking is like May 7th. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not ready for that one.
Wait, here we go.
Yeah.
But let me put that to bed. You always have a challenge group to invite to.
Okay.
So even if your challenge group started today, you still have a challenge group to invite to.
Always up and
You always have something to invite to.
Okay.
So you're exactly right. If you have set in your mind that your challenge group is going to start on May 7th, then, I mean, you should be, if you're inviting 5 every day from April 1st to April 30th to May 1st if you're inviting every day, then that's never going to be an issue. And whenever I invite to challenge groups, sometimes I don't even know when it's going to start. I kind of play around with it. I'm like, well, I kind of want to start it here, but maybe I'll push it back because, things are moving along, so you don't have to know. Because whenever my invite didn't say anything about when it's going to start.
Yeah.
All I said was, summer body boot camp, do you have any goals you want to tackle this summer? Mm-hmm. Very rarely in the conversation does anyone ask when it starts, which I think is really interesting, right? I'm usually the one, I don't start talking about the start date until I'm getting to the point of creating that sense of urgency. It's like, okay, now it's time to create that sense of urgency that my challenge group is going to start on this date. I need to get people enrolled. Hey, I wanted to make sure, did you still want that spot in my group? We start on a week from Monday. So if you're going to get, and with Beachbody on Demand, I mean, you can literally, they can have access to their workouts like within 24 hours. So, I mean, I bring people into my challenge groups up till the very last day. And then if somebody joins the day after my challenge group starts, I still bring them into the challenge group. I don't ever make anybody wait.
Okay.
I always have one that just started or one that's starting soon.
Well, and I guess part of my thing is I always felt like I have to have a date before I go out and say anything. And so that's good to know that I don't have to have a date. I just have to start, building the interest and getting the conversation started that I can figure the date out later.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. You invite every single day. You should know what your next group is going to be, right? I mean, you should have that kind of like, oh, it's going to be a summer body boot camp, or we're going into, Memorial Day meltdown. That's another one that could be fun. That could be like a 3-day refresh or something like that. So it's always a good practice to look at your month and kind of see, okay, when's it going to happen? But yeah, you don't need to know the date. I mean, I flex my dates all the time. Sometimes I'll say it's going to start on May 1st, and then I decide to make that a prep week because I'm still, enrolling people, and people are taking their own sweet time about getting off the fence, and I have to bring in the, sense of urgency. Hey, blah, blah, blah. So, 5, 5, and 5. That if you follow that process, I would be interested to know from those of you that didn't raise your hand what your concern is, if you would be willing to share. if you would be willing to share.
I would.
Okay. Laura's the brand new coach.
Yes.
She's the only one that could possibly have a legitimate reason not ready to start this tomorrow. But
I guess, and part of it is that I wasn't really comfortable on computers, like I told you before, you know, like coming up with my own challenge group, or are you wanting us to pay attention to you guys are doing groups and invite to those groups? I guess that's what I don't understand.
okay, so if you've never held your own challenge group by yourself, then of course you're always welcome to join your Uplines challenge group.
Okay.
Always. Yeah, of course. And so again, you may not know what my challenge group is going to be because you're like, well, Deb hasn't said, but usually I've got mine out there pretty early. And Summer Body Boot Camp Part 2, it's going down because, you know, that's how creative I am right now. So yeah, always you can invite to your uplines. And it's always nice to ask, say, hey Deb, can I invite to your challenge group? Of course. Now, here's the thing, when you do other coaches challenge groups, and I said this in our summit in 6, you need to be the best challenger in the group. And that means, right, that you're engaging with your customers and you're engaging with the other people and you're posting your Shakeology and all that stuff. So that's just etiquette, right? So you don't have to be worried about how to run your own challenge group, especially when you get started.
Good.
And
I'll learn it, but
Knowing that, can you do 5, 5, and 5?
yes.
Look at that. She just signed back up. Laura came, she was a coach, and then she was not a coach, but she was still working out and getting fit and fine, using her products, and then she became a coach again. And she's ready to get back to it. Does anybody else want to share what is their concern with doing 5, 5, and 5? Well, I would appreciate it. I would encourage you to share with your sponsor, right? No concern. Samantha says she's ready. Well, see, Samantha, we couldn't see your hand. So I'm so glad you commented. So Samantha's in, Kara in, Laura's in. So no pressure, no pressure. Let's talk some more, and those of you that are watching this on recording, I would love for you to comment in the comments in our Team Dare to Dream or the Determination Nation page if you're willing to raise your hand to 5, 5, and 5, or raise both hands for 10, 10, and 10. Mm-hmm. And with that, let's go ahead and sign off because we are at the hour.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night, guys.